Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Brought to you by podcast and the radio show heard every Saturday morning from 9 to 10. Brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender. 2289 is our MLS number for all you legal and compliance people out there. Today, we have a great podcast, and joining us, as you see on our screen, if anybody's watching Facebook Live, listening to us on YouTube, watching it from around the world, is Mr. John Kolb, 1% of all originators in the United States. Mr. John Kolb, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks. Thank you, Harry. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you. And also Lisa Lawson, the Google of our office. If you have a question and you need to know absolutely everything, Lisa Lawson is with us. Good morning, Lisa.
Morning, everybody.
Joining us also co-host and creator of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Program, Mr. Harvey Freed. Hi, Harv.
Good morning, everybody.
And a special guest star that we have, everybody around the world listening. I know we have people listening in Ireland, Scotland last week, all around the United States. We have a treat for everybody out there. We have Sarit Harel. She's an award-winning real estate broker in the New Jersey area, not too far, 25 miles west of New York City, in Millburn, New Jersey, Short Hills area. Sarit Harel, award-winning broker. She has been in the business almost 20 years. She's in the New Jersey Realtor Circle of Excellence for the last, 14, 15 years. She's a Platinum Award winner. She's a top 3 real estate broker in New Jersey. She's awesome. That's why we're having her on here, to get an East Coast perspective. And also, I'm going to give you a little hint here. She's an Ivy Leaguer. Went to Cornell, graduated with BS in hotel admin. Sarit, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Harry.
Yep. Listen, I want to ask you a question coming right out of the gate right now. We introed you. We usually have people on in Metropolitan Detroit, the Midwest area. I know I sound like a New Yorker to you, but I'm not. I talk fast.
You really do.
I operate fast. It's how we do it around here. Because in real estate, you really need to be fast now, Sarit, especially in this market. Tell us what's going on in your world out there in the East Coast. What's going on over there?
Well, as you mentioned, we really service the suburbs of New York. Most of our people that live in our towns lived in New York City and come out here for schools. We're right on the train line. They want, the commutes, but they also want, space. So we're very tightly linked with the New York City market. Because of the post-COVID world, people are working from home. So we're definitely seeing a new trend I've seen this past year is buyers are less town specific. They used to just say, we want Short Hills, we want Summit, which is a neighboring town. Now they're looking in a corridor of towns. So they're a little bit more open to, because we work from home 2 or 3 days a week. So they're a little more focused on the house. And the reason also being supply is so tight still. And that's just, we're seeing this on the national front, but it's really tight in our areas. So buyers and agents are forced to sort of spread out the search. The savvy agents are like, okay, well, you can't get what you want in this town. Let's sort of spread out the search. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing it's definitely still a seller's market. A lot of bidding wars. Buyers are a little bit more price sensitive, though. I mean, things are definitely. My team just had an offer on a house this week, and there were, 7 offers, and we bid 20% over asking, and our buyers didn't get the house. So there's still a lot of competition. Maybe there's not 30 offers on a house, but there's still a lot of pent up demand. But not everything, some things are sitting too. So buyers, I think, are because of the rates and prices being what they are. I think buyers are a little bit more price sensitive, but they're definitely still, the motivated buyers are playing ball.
Yeah, I like that, Sarit. I think that that you mentioned this, and it's still an inventory issue. It's still overbidding. It's still a lot of that. You said it might not be as much, but let's get into it a little bit. I'm going to bring you in on this too, because you mentioned something post-COVID. It used to be in your area. I'm familiar with your area a lot. It used to be people had to live a little bit closer because of the commute to the city, right? Now, what you said is, and I want to emphasize this because we're seeing it here now as well. You used to have to live within a certain distance, or you couldn't make it in and out of the city. You said you're on the train line and everything like that. Now
Exactly.
people, they've expanded their search to other cities and they're not being so picky. It might be another 15, 20 minutes out or whatever, but they don't care because maybe they're only going in once or twice a week as opposed to every day, correct?
That's exactly right. Yes.
I love that. It just makes me feel good, John Cole, but I'm going to go to you because you brought Sarita on, then I'm going to go to Lisa and then Harvey. I'm just going to let you know, John, you brought in a guest that is the perspective that she's going to give us today is going to confirm because, everything moves from the coast in. It moves from the East Coast to the middle of the country, the West Coast to the middle of the country. And here we are sitting in the Midwest. John Cole, explain to our listeners right now and confirm what Sarita's saying about the offers. I'm going to get to my magic question to her a little bit later that I ask all our guests. But John, still overbidding, still crazy offers out there, overpriced. We're seeing that here continuously, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's nonstop. We're, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over listing price on offers around this area. The trouble that we're having on some of those is that the appraisals aren't caught up just yet, where, they're having appraisal shortages, but that's why part of those offers, when you are putting in the extra 30, 40, 50,000, whatever the case may be, they have appraisal guarantees to a certain dollar amount, to make sure that, the seller's still happy with their offer, even though they're going over the list. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's nice to see that, or it's nice to know, I guess, that it's happening even on the East Coast in that area. And I'd be interested to hear what Sarita has to say about, whether they do appraisal guarantees, inspection waivers, all the little tricks of the trade that we think that we made up here in Southeast Detroit, whether or not it's hit the East Coast or the East Coast brought it to us, whatever the case may be, on all the little tricks to get your offers accepted.
Yeah, Sarita, I have a question for you, and I'm going to go to you right now, and I'm going to ask you, and then we'll get into Lisa for a little bit. But Sarita, the question I ask all brokers when they come on our program, whether it's the podcast or our radio show, how do you feel about somebody waiving a property inspection?
It's a good question. It's funny. I had a listing in Maplewood, which is one town over this year, and my sellers were moving to Darien, Connecticut. And they were, buying a house to be closer to family. And they said everyone was waiving. And this is not a builder or contractor flipping a house. They said everyone was waiving inspections completely, which I personally would not recommend in our market. My husband's a builder, builds new construction. I invest in real estate personally. So I can say, I'm not afraid of a house that needs work, but, we do not recommend to our buyers. And again, we want them to come back to us. My business is all repeat clients. Like I don't want them to inherit a huge environmental issue and then, be saddled with this big problem. So what we are doing to be competitive. We're recommending a lot of buyers are waiving a stipulated dollar amount in inspection issues. Maybe the first 5, depending on the price range, the first $10,000. So the seller knows, okay, you're not going to nickel and dime me. And then the language that we put in, major items only, environmental, mechanical, safety, structural. And sometimes we'll tighten that up. Like if it's a fixer-upper or an estate sale and the buyer already has a contractor lined up, sometimes we'll just say, just waive just waive the other stuff, but just environmental issues. Like I have an offer right now, and there's this underground oil tank. We live on a train line town. Houses are the 1920s. A leaking oil tank, that could be a huge problem. So yeah, at a minimum environmental, we do not waive inspections completely. I just think it's a risky proposition. I personally wouldn't let my buyers do it.
We love that. And Lisa Lawson, Sarita fits right in with how we operate. She operates the same way. She has a big team. We have a nice sized team here too. Lisa Lawson, you could never, in good conscience, have any of your clients waive an inspection? And Sri, just so you know, here we're all referral based. Yeah, we do some marketing, TV, radio, whatever it is, but we've been in this community 35 years. And like you, we depend on referrals, and it's all customer service. And we could never. I would rather have somebody go somewhere else and let them get bad advice rather than us giving bad advice. I mean, so Lisa Lawson, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you're seeing in your market. You've had an outstanding last couple months purchase wise. It's a purchase market. It is a seller's market out there. Your purchase agreements always come in clean. They always close on time. What are you doing right now, Lisa, with your buyers? It's all in the preparation, isn't it?
Preparation and education, explaining to the buyers what they need to do and what they can expect in the process so there are no surprises. The minute they have an offer on a property, I'm sending them a cost worksheet so they understand this is what we need to close. If you are doing appraisal guarantees, this would be your worst case scenario if the appraisal comes in, like at the worst case, the whole 9 yards. Because what I don't want to happen is we get to, the end and all of a sudden they realize, oh, that's how an appraisal guarantee works. I didn't realize I needed that extra 20,000, whatever the number is. I want everyone prepared and everyone to understand well in advance exactly what is going to be expected, what their payments might be, what they need to bring to close, the whole 9 yards. And I think that's why things close on time. We get great reviews from everybody on our team. I think we all kind of had that philosophy here. And being available. Nothing else is frustrating when you try to reach somebody and you've left them 3 messages and sent 2 emails and you haven't heard back. It's really hard to get business done that way. So we pride ourselves here. We pride ourselves here in picking up the phone, returning phone calls, the whole 9 yards.
This is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, Lisa Lawson. It is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Special guest, Sarit Harel from the Sarit Harel team, Keller Williams. She's out of Milburn, New Jersey, giving us an East Coast perspective. But Sarit, no matter where you go, in order to be successful, in order to have a big team, in order to provide great customer service, there are just some fundamentals that you have to have. I mean, listen, we talk about answering the phone. You would be surprised how many people don't answer the phone. And after we check in with you a little bit, we're going to go to Harvey Freed, all about education. But Sarit, here in Michigan, we've seen a huge pickup, not a little pickup, but a huge pickup in the market in the last few months. It seemed at the beginning of the year, people were a little bit on the sidelines. What are you telling people now that continuously call and say, you know what, Sarit, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till the market calms down. What do you tell people?
Well, we have a few clients that could have bought 2 years ago and were waiting the market out then. And they're now saying, wow, we should have listened. Rates were lower. Prices have just gone up. So it's like waiting for what? And then, we're telling them that. And also, what's the cost of renting? Because there's a big cost. I think people forget, I'll just keep on renting. Well, what's that going to cost you? And you could be paying down your mortgage. So, and I think, we all know this. Purchasing a home, it's such a personal, emotional business. Obviously, it's a business decision, but it's also about, where do you want to live? Where do you want to raise your family? Where do you want to come home to at the end of the day? So I think a lot of people purchase emotionally too. So there's that component also.
I
like that. Hey, John, go ahead, because Sarit, I want to tell you something about Sarit Harel. It's like listening to somebody that you've known your whole life give you great advice. And when you listen to somebody like this, it just reiterates everything that we feel emotionally and intellectually, so we can go on and advise and counsel our clients as well, John.
Yeah, I was going to say 3. You probably jumped to the top of the list on Harry's people that he loves the most right now with all your correct answers. And I got to tell you, I didn't give her the answers to the test before she took it, Harry. So
I didn't know this was a test.
Right?
Well, it's always a test, isn't it? I mean, it really is.
Right. But going back to what Sarit said, it's funny that, you think about it, we did have issues with people wanting to wait out the market back when rates were in the 2, 3, 4% range. Because they thought the market was going to crash and the housing prices were going to come down. That was less of a struggle to try to get people to understand than it is now when rates are, 6.5%, 7%. And, we're combating that with just information and knowledge. I mean, look at the appreciation rate on these homes. Yes, you can wait out to see if the rates come down to 4%, but you're going to be purchasing that $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 home for anywhere from 5 to 10% more than what you would have. And all of a sudden, even though you waited for the rates to come down, the value of the house is greater, the purchase price is greater, and you're paying the same payment you would have versus getting the house now and then turning around and refinancing when rates come down. When you refinance, you're only going to pay somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 in closing costs. Sometimes we even offer less in closing costs, but you're only going to pay $3,000 to $4,000 in closing costs to get that lower rate, and you got the house at the cheaper price. I don't understand why you don't jump on it now. Then,
yeah, I couldn't answer that. I can't answer that question because for years, Sarit, Lisa, John, and going to Harvey Freed, we've gone on TV and we've gone on radio. And Harvey, remember when rates were at 4%, people thought they were going to go to 3%, and then they were at 3%. People thought they were going to go to 2%, and they were never at 2%, but people thought they were going to go to 0%. And I used to go on the radio and I used to say, what are you waiting for? Rates are not going down to 0%. Well, we're in that same place, Harvey. Home prices right now and mortgage interest rates are not everybody out there listening, not going down, Harvey Freed. So it's our job, along with our real estate partners, brokers, builder partners, to educate clients, right, Harvey?
Lots of education needed in this industry for sure. But I like what Sarit brought up. Not only is the rental so much money, that the more I talk to families that have been in rental situations, maybe they sold their house, they're looking to move into the next one. They've got rental, they got the storage unit they're renting out to keep all their belongings in. And it's just the cost of everyday life for a lot of the families out there. They need to sort of refocus that. Having quality real estate agents is really the beginning. That and putting a financial team together with the best mortgage lenders that answer their phones, communicate what title company you're going to work with. And I'm fortunate that I get to fly out of here and go to a closing at 12:30. And again, great smooth deal, fun transaction, a little bit of communication problems with the real estate agent, but we're all happy to show up to the day. Education is really what gives everyone the confidence. And also the other point that Sarit made is, the inspections. If your husband, your brother, your cousin is a builder, well, it takes a lot of pressure off of anything that could be wrong structurally with a home. And I like that fact that at least we dive into the environmental side, health and safety issues. Families that are buying houses need to understand that. Most recently, a story, and I'll tell a quick story, is I did a land contract payoff, and the gentleman bought the house 4 years ago, land contract. Well, he was an FHA mortgage. We had to do a well and septic report. The well company, the report came back with the highest levels of arsenic and lead that the people have ever seen. So it wasn't a fun phone call since his family's been living in the house for 4 years on a land contract. And again, health and safety, these are the most important things, not whether or not there's a chip peeling paint around the windowsills. We can always address that later.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Harvey. This is Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fair Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender 2289. We are joined by award-winning broker out of Millburn, New Jersey, from the Keller Williams, Sarit Harel from the Sarit Harel team. Sarit, I'm going to have to give you the last word. Unfortunately, I'd love to do 8 hours with you. I could sit around and talk, and we talk the same language. We're probably related somehow along the line. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that with John Kolb here because he does have a relative that works in your office, Jen Kolb. Big shout out to Jen Kolb. She does your marketing, Sarit. But I want to ask you this question right now. All right, Sarit, I need you to look in your crystal ball. Okay, do you have a crystal ball on your desk? I have one right here. This is my crystal ball. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me much. But I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball. Tell me what you foresee for the fall and for the winter. Tell me what sales are going to do, what home prices are going to do. Tell me where you feel the market in the New York City area and the people and the clients in the service area that you service. Where's the market going to go in your sphere of influence?
Thank you, Harry. I would say, I've been doing this just under 20 years. Back in 07, 08, we're a big Wall Street town. Short Hills is big finance sector. I thought I wasn't going to sell a house ever again. When Wall Street crashed, but within a month we were back really active. So we're lucky, our town, I mean, we really outperform the rest. I grew up in New Jersey, but this train line, not just Short Hills, but Summit, Chatham, Maplewood, South Orange, we really outperform the rest of the state because of our accessibility to the city. So that being said, I mean, we are continuously, the market it's always busy. So I think, why wait? There's a saying, you marry the house, but date the rate. Have you guys heard of this saying?
Yeah. Do you like that saying, Sarit? Do you like that saying?
I do, because you know what? People are like, well, rates are so high. Well, you know what? Refinance in 2 years when the rates come down, but find the house you love, raise your family there, move in, enjoy your kitchen, get your home office, get your attached garage, get your pool, whatever it is that you really want in a home. So, I don't encourage people in our market to wait, because our market is continuously strong. I mean, I will say just some quick stats. Average price is up 10% from last year. Active listings is down just under 30%. Under contracts is down just about 30%. So it's a tight market. And I think, if you can find an opportunity in this market right now, and fall's a great time, people think, oh, everyone's got to get in by September because we're such a school-driven area. Fall's a great time. I bought and sold 3 times in the fall, my own personal real estate. It's a good time to get value. It's kind of like it's not as competitive. So that answers your question. Why wait? Who knows what I always say, real estate's like a newspaper. When a seller wants me to price a house, I say it's like a newspaper. I can tell you now what's going on. I don't know what's going to be going on in 6 months. I can tell you right now, here's the opportunity. So
we like that. And everybody, you've heard from Sarit Harel. She's given you her perspective. We give you ours every week. I'm going to go to our panel, Lisa Lawson. Lisa, you have the last word today.
Well, I just think be ready, get educated about exactly what you want to do, know the market that you're buying in, work with a professional like Sarit, and you're going to be fine.
All right, Mr. Harvey Freed, last words of the day before you go to your closing. You look good today, Harv. I like the pink.
Very sharp.
This came up on a new purchase. The guy has a slab. He's buying a house on a slab, and he asked me if he needed a radon gas inspection. So again, better people, better advice is going to really help your family along, and you'll have better outcome.
All right. Appreciate that, Harv. John Kolb, you have the last words of the day.
Well, I'd like to thank Sarit for coming on, and thank Jen for introducing us. It was
my pleasure.
Yeah, such a pleasure to learn that, that Southeast Michigan is not an anomaly like a lot of people here think, that, prices are being gouged and rates are too high. It's happening all over the United States, and it's just what's happening. And, we all have the same advice because we all pay attention, and don't wait, jump into the market now. And like Sarit said, you can date the rate and marry the home.
I appreciate that, John. All right, Sarit Harel from the Sarit Harel team in Keller Williams, Millburn, New Jersey. We loved having you on. We want to thank you very much. Want to thank you. Tell your team we said hello. Tell Jen Kolb.
Jen's the best. She's she's like my right hand man. She's the best. So
I love it. Well, her big cousin's a pretty good guy too. And I want to thank John. I want to thank Harvey. I want to thank Lisa Lawson for being on. Of course, our producer and director, Roberto Beauchene, he's in the booth. Want to thank everybody for listening. And listen, tune into the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, heard every Saturday morning on 97.1 FM from 9 to 10 a.m. And everybody, thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.